Day 4? Is it day 4? What was the day? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, day 4. We haven't done this that much this morning. We got out late, went with breakfast and just came to the beach. And now there's this little pelican thing sitting on top of one of them. Can you see him? Just cleaning himself, and now he's just sitting up there. It's much bigger than it looks in the camera, I can tell you. So we've come to Playa Del Carmen this afternoon. We're in here now, we just got here on the bus. And basically it's like a load of, they've got a shopping centre, and then it's like the main street is 5th Street, which has lots of like little shops and tourist shops and stuff like that at the minute. So we're just looking at the main shopping centre bit now. But we just came across this, I forgot about this from last time. They have like little stalls where they sell like prison art. So basically it's rehabilitating prisoners. They do art and then they display the products and they sell the products, and some of them are actually really good, aren't they? But yeah, so like around here you've got Stradivarius, Pandora, Pull&Bear just there, Zara up here, Oysho, Frida Kahlo. Yeah. But yeah, and then they got little stalls as well. But it's everything you can kind of, the bigger shops you can think of are in this main shopping centre, and then as you go up 5th Street, it's smaller sort of shops and restaurants and stuff. Wherever you go, you can't go away from it. There it is. The 2 golden arches. This is the sort of deal, this is the kind of like, you know, tat shops, icon tat shops that you find that are kind of like very kind of cheap and cheerful, like souvenir shops.
Shouting at us.
You know, give it 5 seconds for someone starts going, Allah, Allah, sir, sir, here, whistling at you. But yeah, the people, all of them from they come out and they shout at you and won't let you leave them. So we've just stopped in Amarino, this guy, which we've been to like loads of them, different places, but
probably about the 10th Amarino we've been to around the world.
Yeah, they're really, really good. Probably the best ice cream I've ever had.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's really nice. Yeah, really, really, really nice. So we just stopped, and I'll show you what we've got. Right, so we got our stuff. Ben got a little chocolate milkshake. So the way it works here, if someone hasn't been to Amarino before, is that you choose like what you want, a milkshake or ice cream, the size of ice cream, whatever. And you on the flavour, you decide what it is you want. So whether it's the size of the ice cream in the tub, the size of cone you want, whatever it is, it's in the steam everywhere. And you decide, and then you pay for whatever you choose, and then you choose the flavours. You go down to choose the flavours, and you can pick whatever flavours you want really, and they'll put it all in a bin. So Ben got a chocolate milkshake, and I got waffle sticks, and I chose chocolate ice cream with raspberry macaron. Good fun that. Enjoy it?
Very tasty.
Yeah, we both managed to polish those off. Very nice. Guess where we are again. It's so hot here, it's actually really nice to have something like that, isn't it? I got another chocolate milkshake, and I got this time a grande hot, and I got, this is blueberry cheesecake. This is is it lime and basil? I think that's my favourite one. This one's passion fruit, and this one is strawberry, and then I got a raspberry macaron. The macarons here are probably the best macarons, other than when we went to Switzerland, we had Springly macarons, and they were the best macarons I've ever had. Other than that, these are the best macarons I've ever had. This guy over here, this guy, that one, one walking way up, he was just changing the light bulbs without turning the lights off, and we were just saying, if that was, oh, the music is so loud, if that was in the UK, that would not happen. They'd probably have to call someone out to change that. I certainly wouldn't be changing it, one of the staff wouldn't be changing it with the lights on. So, an update on the whole bulb changing scenario. They've now gone and blown the fuse, so all the music's gone off and the light bulbs have gone off, and I'm not sure they know what to do about it.
Presumably the freezer's keeping the ice cream.
No, I reckon everything's gone off.
I've also turned off.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know if we have some melted ice cream.
So we'll keep you updated on the bulb changing situation as well. The lights are back on. Hey. So, we're back from Playa Del Carmen. We just come straight to the buffet to get some dinner. What did you get?
Chicken, tuna, Brussels sprouts, bacon,
chips. And I got an equally beige plate. Pizza, Spanish omelette and pasta. Can we just appreciate how massive these paella things are? Look at this. Look how massive this is. Amazing. Right. Had a dinner. Back from Playa Del Carmen. Just walking back to our room because there was loads of people waiting for the buggy thing, so just sort of walk back. We're gonna go to bed now. We've got another early start tomorrow because we've got another excursion tomorrow to a place called Sian Ka'an, which is a kind of nature reserve, and I'll take the camera to that, so that'll be a good day as well. We had a good time in Playa Del Carmen. We didn't buy all that much. We bought some sunglasses from a sunglasses hut because it was quite a good deal. But it's nice to just get out and go somewhere else. But yeah, so with that, we're almost back at our room now, so say bye for today. Hello, is it day 5? Yeah, day 5. We're off to Sian Ka'an today. They're like natural, what do they call it, nature reserve thing, and then we're going biosphere, and then we're going, and it goes like out in the sea and everything, but I'll show you what we do. Basically just see loads of nature. Ben was just telling me about it then. We're just gonna go and get a buggy over to get some breakfast. It's about 7 o'clock. Get some breakfast. We're getting picked up at 8. time?
Yes, I did.
I feel a bit windswept now coming off that boat.
Yeah, there's a lot of speedboat riding.
I will we'll give you the lowdown when we get back when it's a bit less awkward. But it was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Even if I do feel like literally windburned.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're just walking back to the coach now. It's just a short walk from when you get on the first speedboat, so we're just walking back over there now. Hello. So we're back at the hotel now. It's quite a bit later. But as far as today goes, I thought I'd just sit and give a kind of overview of it. So basically we got picked up at I think 8 o'clock, which was fine. Got on a like minibus thing, which took us to the Sian Ka'an biosphere, which is about an hour away. When we were on the bus, the guide kind of told us a little bit about what we would be doing, but not like, I didn't really get a feel of exactly what we'd be doing, really. But then when we got there, no one seemed to really realise whether we were there or not, if that makes sense, like, or whether it was just a toilet break, or whether it was just get out and stretch your legs, and we got a bit further to go, because it was kind of down a really windy kind of like, basically Tulum has this almost like boho vibe area where each of the sides of it is like restaurants and clubs and stuff, but down like a dirt track. It's really weird. So we didn't know if we were there or whether it was just we were continuing and we were just going to the toilet or whatever. Someone said, oh, I think it's just stretch our legs. So we got out and went to the toilet, and when we came out again, they were all like walking off, like to go to wherever we were going. We were like, but we didn't realise, so our bags are still on the coach. So we had to like run after the guide and be like, oh, you know, our bag's still on there, because we didn't realise we weren't we were staying here and we were going on from here. And he was like, oh, so he had to go back and get it for us, because he didn't make it clear that that's what was happening, and no one else seemed to realise either. So he came back and we got on these speedboats which took us across the lagoon and to kind of this port bit where we swapped boats and went on a different speedboat to go into the sea. And when we were out there, basically, I mean, the other thing they should have probably told us was we should have got, this is the other thing which I felt like they should have told us, which they didn't, was that we should have, you basically need to be changed before you get out there. Like, you need to, like, when you do that break and when you first stop, so when you get off the minibus or whatever, there's a little sort of hut which has like a toilet, as if you can even call them toilets, basically like toilets, and you really need to get changed there or be already changed when you get on the bus in the morning. But because we're used to going on ones where we do a lot of stuff before we go in the water, we don't always like getting changed first, because otherwise it's really uncomfortable. So we weren't changed, or I had my top on but not my bottoms, and Ben wasn't changed at all. And then we got onto the, and no, a lot of other people weren't either. And then we got onto the, so at that point we really should have already been changed. We then got on the boat to go to the sea, got into the middle of the sea where they do like the snorkeling. And you're like, okay, we're, well, first of all, they were like looking for turtles and stuff, which they found a couple which we saw like bobbing up. So we got a few photos of that and stuff. And then they went on to do the snorkeling, and we got to the snorkeling bit where you can see there's like lots of boats and they sort of pitch there to snorkel. And they were like, okay, so who's snorkeling? And I was like, what? Like, we're not even changed. We didn't realise this is what, like, we were doing this now sort of thing. So we had to then awkwardly try and get changed on the boat in the middle of the sea. Like, so it was just kind of like, they should have said before then that you needed to be changed, or it would be a good idea to be changed or get changed at the toilets when we arrived, which none of which was said. Anyway, then we did snorkeling. We didn't see an awful lot. We were quite unlucky, to be honest. We didn't really see anything. But then we got back on the boat after that, and they took us to sort of a bay area, which was very shallow water, which is just like clear, shallow water for about 20 minutes, which we learned. It was really beautiful, wasn't it? It was like idyllic, wasn't it? Mm. We liked that a lot. And then we got back on the boat and went to another port to like a little village, whereas only 500 people live there. It's basically a fisherman's village, and they live in this place, which was absolutely incredible. And we had lunch there. The bay we pulled up on, I've never seen anything like it. It was the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. And you didn't know where to take pictures because literally every centimetre was a perfect picture spot. It was just bizarre. But yeah, then we had lunch. The lunch was fine actually. It was like a buffet lunch like it normally is. You can eat as much as you like. But I did feel like we were sort of rushed through, and not only that, like they didn't really give you opportunity, because you're all salt, bear in mind you're all salty. You've just been snorkeling in the sea. Like you need to really get changed or washed off or whatever, or have an opportunity to get into your clothes. And it was almost like, right, there's the toilets and here's, we're eating. So you had enough time to basically get a plate, eat, and it was like, right, we're going now. I was like, well, I need to get changed or do something. So I had to quickly run to the shower, get showered, and I just put my clothes on and took my bikini off. But no one else really had the opportunity to, because also it wasn't really pointed out that the showers we passed were the showers we were meant to use, and I just went and used them anyway. So again, I didn't think that was very good. And then we had to walk through the village to where the next port is, which was fine. We walked there, and we got back on the boat, like the speedboat again, which was going to bring us back. Was that right? Yeah, which was gonna, oh, and before, sorry, I missed out a bit. Before we got into the port for lunch, they did spot a couple of dolphins, so we went and followed them, which is fine. It wasn't really much to like see. It wasn't, you saw it like its fin come up a bit, like a couple of times, and that was it. Like it wasn't really what we were expecting, I don't think. But yeah, and then we basically got on the speedboat and came back again to the port we left from, and got back on the bus and came back. That was kind of the day in a nutshell. I mean, you can probably tell we weren't, it's a very hard excursion, and like we're telling you about these excursions because you can do these excursions regardless of what hotel you're staying at. You wouldn't have to be staying here, even if you come into Mexico, to Cancun, to Riviera Maya. They're all the same excursions, so like it's good to know about them basically. So we've done quite a lot of them now, because we came last year and we came this year, and both years we've done different ones. Ones like this are very hard to comment on. The closest one was probably the whale sharks, because that was in open sea as well. And the whale sharks that we did last year, that was probably the most incredible day of my life I've had so far. It was just absolutely amazing, and we both agreed on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Like you could not fault it. But then we were saying to ourselves, but what if we hadn't seen any whale sharks? It would have been so bad, like really not good. Like that was the reason you were there, to see the whale sharks and swim with them. So if you hadn't seen any, it would have been rubbish. So that's why it's difficult to comment on, because we had a really good day with that, and we saw lots of whale sharks, swam with them a lot of times. Like that was amazing. But today we were very, very unlucky with seeing animals. We didn't really see all that much. We saw a few turtles from the boat in the water. We saw humps of a dolphin a couple of times. That was about it. Like we really didn't see very much, when I think, you know, there's obviously occasions when they see a lot. So we were saying, you know, if we'd seen a lot of animals, we would have come away and said, oh, that was amazing, blah, blah, blah. I think the difference with this one to the whale shark one though, is that the whale shark one was a lot better organised. I felt like this one, you didn't really have a clue what was going on most of the time. You didn't know what you were going to next. You didn't know what you were meant to be doing. You sort of, and also we got, the way the speedboats are set out, they're like two. So there's 6 people that can be in a boat, and you're sat in twos basically. And we ended up being at the back every time, which meant that we couldn't really see an awful lot, like probably as well as the others could. I mean, it swings and roundabouts, because if you were sat right at the front, you had no shade, because there was kind of like a parasol over it. If you sat right at the front, the parasol didn't cover that, so it's like you were either getting burnt or you weren't seeing anything. Like unless you were sat in the middle, it was just swings and roundabouts. But as I've already said, for the reasons I've said, I feel like it was quite pretty badly organised, and to be honest, we paid a lot of money today. And when I say a lot of money, I'd say just shy of about $400, like a lot of money. And we did it because we had such a good experience with the whale sharks last time. It was so worth money, even though that was over $400. It was, like I say, the best day I think I've ever had in my life, and it was worth every penny. Today, value for money wise, I thought it was just like, I was not impressed, to be honest, and neither was Ben, were you?
No, it just wasn't as good.
It just was not as good, and it was, to be honest, I feel like, not just because we didn't see, I mean, you can't call on nature, you can't say, oh yeah, we're going to see 15 dolphins today, you know, we understand that, you're not going to see all of these animals all the time, like, they're wild animals, if they're there, they're there, if they're not, fine, whatever, don't, you know, completely appreciate that. But I think for us, it was just really badly organised as well. Like, I think that was a Blue Caribe tour as well, and Blue Caribe, in our opinion, are very, 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 very good company for doing excursions with. If you book through TUI use Blue Caribe for a lot of their excursions, and we did actually try and book through Blue Caribe this time directly, but I don't know if you can, and we didn't find a way we could, so we just booked through TUI again. But they, like I say, they use Blue Caribe, and actually we've had really good experiences with Blue Caribe up until this point, but today I was not impressed. I didn't think it was very good, and for the money we paid, I was pretty disappointed, and it was just a bit of a letdown, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't, based on our experience, I wouldn't really recommend this one. And also, just to add, this is nothing to do, you know, this is not their fault or anything, but obviously you go down this road which is very, very, very bumpy, and if you are someone that gets car sick, can you imagine, Ben? If you were someone that got car sick, you'd have a nightmare. Like, you'd probably need to take an anti-sickness tablet on this before you go on this, because it was, for about half an hour to about 45 minutes, isn't it, down that road? Yeah. Like, a bumpy, and when I say bumpy, I mean at one point I was out of my seat, that bumpy. Like, it's not their fault, obviously, because that's the way they have to get there, but you know, it's just another thing to bear in mind. If you're very bad with like car sickness, might not be for you. And also, even on the speedboat, you know, when you got out to sea, that was super bumpy as well. So if you get seasick, again, you're not going to enjoy that at all. In fact, if you get seasick, it's not worth going at all, because actually it is pretty bumpy. Even though it looks quite calm, when you get out to the sea, it's actually quite choppy, and you can be like thrown about quite a lot. So either make sure you take anti-sickness tablets before you get on that boat, or get on the, like, start the day, or don't go, because it's just not worth it. Like, you'd absolutely hate every second of it. And also, like, there was that girl who didn't even get in to snorkel, wasn't there? Yeah. Like, if you don't like snorkeling, it's probably not worth doing that either, because quite frankly, that is what, like, the idea of you going out there. Like, I don't know what she thought of the day, because all she did was sit on a boat for about 3 hours in total, and sit on a coach for about 2 hours in total, and have lunch. I will insert any footage we have of last year of the whale sharks. But they only do that one from June to September, because that's the time where the whale sharks are in the Cancun area. Other than that, they you know, they swim around everywhere. Like, so that's the time they're around Mexico, basically, is June to September. I've made it sound awful. It wasn't awful. We did have a nice time, don't get me wrong. It's really nice being on a speedboat, going through mangroves, like, you know, anyway. And going to the bay, it was really nice to do that, but unfortunately, I think it just fell flat on quite a few levels for us today. And obviously, compared to the other ones we've done, it wasn't so good. Maybe if we hadn't done any others, we might have felt it was better, just because we had nothing to compare to. But yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't really for us today.
Day 207.
Shut up.
He hates it.
He says I'm going on. We're going out for dinner tonight at Los Corrales again, because we managed to book a table there. That's the Brazilian rodizio, is that what they call it? I don't know. One where they bring the meats to your table and stuff, and we love it there, and it's always really, really nice. Highly, 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 highly recommend that restaurant if you stay at Bahia Principe. I think you can only go there if you're in Acapulco or Sian Ka'an, can't you? But anyway, if you're one of those, highly recommend it. Definitely have to go. By the adult infinity pool, very nice. We're ready for dinner. Is it just me, or is there nothing better than the sound of like crickets on a warm night when you're away? No, on a warm night when you're away, that sound like crickets. I love it. It just makes me feel like I'm away properly. Also, it looks much lighter on there than it actually is. It's actually pretty dark. It looks really quite light on there. Love that view of the infinity pool over there, don't you?
We're going to show you the moon later.
Yeah, Ben's insistent that we're going to be going to see the moon later. He likes sitting on the beach and watching the moon. Have we just seen?
My main wham.
My main
wham.
His main man, Juan. He remembers us from last time and he loves it, doesn't he? Anyway, this is the menu they give you. Basically, they have a welcome cocktail which is called the caipirinha, and then they have, you can go up and get salads, and then this is the spot they show you the meats they give you, and then that's dessert. But they also give you pineapple, don't they? You're gonna get caipirinha today? You're gonna get caipirinha today? Yeah. What I've been waiting for the last 4 days. The caipirinha. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like it? No, Ben gets one so I can have 2. Damn it, pressure. Ben's just necking the tequila shots. Ben on his 4th tequila shot. I've honestly lost count of how many I'm on these. Ben's on about his 15th tequila shot. How do you feel?
Right now I feel fine.
You feel fine, do you? How many shots have you had?
9.
About 9 shots later. This is the...
Is that a lot? I don't really know.